Hello everyone. So in this project we have a data from an FMCG company and they have some questions which we are going to answer through Python. So we have a data file right here. It's a CSV file. The data, you can find the dataset in the description, so you can download and work with me. So let's get started. So we have a data file in a same folder in which we have our Python file. So we have to load that data set using pandas. So we have to first import all the important libraries by which we are going to work. So let's import pandas as pd, import numpy as np, import. Okay, so we don't need that. So we have right there. So we have loaded them. We want to load that CSV file. So for that we will be using pandas read CSV function. So it's a pd dot read CSV function and we have to pass the file name in it. So to get the file name we can use ls command. Ls command is a list directory, so it will print out all the files in our current directory. So this is our file called FMCG sales data. So we will copy this name and we will paste it here. Now we don't need this, so we can delete this. Now this will read the dataset and we will store it in our df. Our df has our data frame, so we can see it from df.head. So we have loaded our dataset, and now the second step is for data cleaning. Before even starting the project, we have to first clean the data. Okay, so uh, it's not always possible that we get a clean data. So you can see that we have a quantity and the sales which has some comma in it. Their product name, category, subchannel, and a date. So to check the data types of all of these column, we will select df.info. In this we can see that every column is an object data type. Object is our string data type in Python. So the quantity and sales, if they are actually numerical column and if we have to work uh, with calculations in them, we need them to be in a numerical data type. But right here it is an object data type, so we have to change this. And to change any data type in Python, we can use as type method. So we will first fix both of these column. So for that we can access that column. To do that we will use data frame and we will access sales column and use as type method to change it. Whichever data type we need to change, we have to pass it here. So we will use .int. But as we run it, you can see that it throw us an error. Why it throws an error? Because our numbers are in this format. We have a comma in our numbers. That's why it cannot be converted into an integer type. So we first have to deal with this comma. So we need to remove this and then we will convert this into an integer. So how can we remove this comma from the sales? So we can use an apply function. Apply will apply a custom function to that column. So we will use dot apply, and to create that custom function we will use lambda. Okay, so lambda x. And what we have to do, if we are receiving this as a text in the x, so we have to use dot replace method to replace this comma with nothing. So it will remove that x, it will remove that comma. So we will use x dot replace this comma with an empty string. Okay, so we'll use comma with an empty string. So if we run this, we can see that our column has been removed, the comma has been removed from our column, but still the data type is an object. So we need to still change this into an integer, And now we can typecast this column into integer because there is no comma, it will not throw an error. So after doing this, we will use .s type and we will pass integer in it. Now you can see that the data type has been turned into an integer. We will save this in a sales column. Okay, so we will is equal to, so the sales column will be changed. Okay, we also have the same problem in the quantity column, so we need to fix this too. So for doing this, we will use the same code, just replace the sales with quantity. So we can just copy the whole code and replace this sales with the quantity. So we will select hold control and select the another sales, and we can write quantity in it. Okay, now just click enter, and now we will check if our data has been cleaned or not. So df.head, we can see that the quantity and sales has been cleaned. We can check the data type with df.info, and we can see that the quantity and sales has been turned into an integer data type. So this has been done. So the next problem is we have a month column. Okay, and that month column is showing as an object data type. We don't need this as an object data type because it is a month, it holds a date, so it need to be in a date format. Okay, so to convert this column into a date, proper date, we can use toDateTime function of our pandas. So to access it, we need to use that function through pandas. So we will use pd dot toDateTime. So using this function, we can convert any series of text into date. So our text is in month column. So we will pass df.month inside it. And as we run it, we can see that it is now converted into a date time. It will throw an error, but we can ignore it. We will save this into our data frame month column. Okay, so we have saved this. So we have fixed that month too. Now if we run this same code again, df.head, now the month has been a proper date, and if we run this info, we can see that the month has been turned into date time format. Now our data has been cleaned. There are some more problems. You can see that the sub channels, we have this capitalized word, and we don't need this. We need a proper text. So we can fix this text in the inside these columns. We have this sub channel and this product name, and to clean this we can use str method. And to do this, if we just select this product name and this channel, if this we select this, we can see that no, it's not channel, it's sub channel. Okay, it is sub channel. So we can see that other names are in a proper format, but this Amazon is in a total capital format. So to change this, we can use dot title. If we run this, it will not work because dot title is used on a string column. Although we have this column as a string, but it will not work. If we run this, it will throw us an error. To use any modification on a string column, we need to pass .str first and then .title. Okay, so this will work. So if you want to convert a column into a lowercase, uppercase, you just need to type .str and .upper, .lower, and that we are using .title. You can use .capitalize too. Okay, so we have changed this, and now we can save this in our sub channel column. Okay, we have fixed the sub channel. We have to fix the product name too. Okay, so we will do the same with our product name. we currently see that product names are all in capital. We don't need them in capital, so we will write .str dot title, and it will clean this column. Okay, so we will just save this in our product name column. Okay, so we have saved this name into product name. Okay, now let's check our data frame. Okay, so it has been cleaned. We can see that our month, our channel, sub-channel, product names, category, quantity, and sales all have been cleaned. Okay, so we can start our questions. Our data has been cleaned. Now we can proceed further. Okay, so the first question is total sales and quantity. Calculate the total sales and total quantity across the entire data set. We need to calculate the total sales and the total quantity. To calculate the total sales, we first have to access the sales column. So we will first get the sales column and apply a function called .sum. And this will return us the exact total amount of total sales. Okay, so we have find this total sales. Now we want to find the total quantity across the entire data set. So to find the total quantity, we will use the quantity column and .sum. So this is the total quantity. Okay, so we have solved this question. Now moving to the another question. Monthly sales summary. Group the data by month and show total sales and total quantity for each month. Now we need to calculate month-wise total sales and total quantity. To do that, we first need a month column. If we see the data, we don't have any column specifically for month. Actually, we have a column of date which has a month in it. So we can get this month from this column. To do that, for that, we can do this. We can create a data frame and access this month column. Okay, so the same thing is here. Even if it is a date column, we cannot call directly month to it. It is a date column, and to work with any date, you first have to use dt dot. Okay, so any date time you have to work with, so use dt dot month dot day dot year, anything, and you can access this month in it. Okay, so if we are using month, if you want to get the day, we can do this. If we want to calculate the year, we can get this. Okay, we don't need any of this, we need month, so we will be using this. Okay, now we will store this as a month number. Okay, we will store this as a month number. If we see the data set, we can see that we have a column which has a month number in this format. Okay, so we have our month. Now what we have to do, we have to calculate month-wise total sales and total quantity. Actually, we can use the month name to it. If we pass this, we can have a month name which has a December like this. So we can use this month name instead of our numbers, and we will create a group using month name and calculate total sales and total quantity. Okay, now to do this, we will use a group by method. So df dot group by, we have to pass the category by which we are actually going to create our groups. So it's our month name, we have to specify a column which we are going to aggregate, but this in this we have a total sales and a total quantity. We have two columns, so we have to pass two columns in it, and to pass multiple columns we will use a list. So first it will be of sales column and a second will be our quantity. Okay, so if we have a single column, we can directly pass this like quantity or directly like sales, it will work fine. But if we have multiple columns, we have to pass as a list. in it. Okay, and after that we have to specify an aggregation function. So this time this will be our sum because we are going to find total. If we press enter, we can see that we have a month name by total sales and total quantity. If we don't need this as an index, we can just pass reset index. So we can get this as a column like month name, total sales and total quantity. So we have solved this question. We will move to the next question, like top selling products. Find the top 5 product based on total sales and total quantity. Okay, so we need to find top 5 highest selling product with their total quantity sold. So if we see the data, we can see that we have a product name in it. Like this is our product name, but if you see clearly, it will have a product name with a quantity. It's like if particular product has a 1 liter packaging and the same product has another packaging like 500 ml. So although it is a same product, but it has different packaging. So actually we don't need to focus on this packaging. We actually need to focus on the product actual. Okay, so we have to remove this packaging from the product and we only need the product name in it. So how can we do this? To do this, we have to separate this. But as there is a problem that somewhere it is 1L and somewhere it is 500 mg and somewhere something else. So how can we find that we have to remove this portion? We cannot just slice the last 3 element or just last 5 element because that will not work. So how can we do this? If you see, there is only a single digit in this name, which will be this 1. And if you read from left to right, we will see this 5. Okay, so if we find the first digit from left to right, we can find that total name. We can find the name before that digit. So we need this text. And to find this text, we will have to write a function in which function will have an input of this complete name and return us only this name. To do this, we will use a def and we will write a function. So we will use def and then we can name this function as clean, and to receive this name as a text, we can use a text function here. Okay, if we are receiving this text in a text variable, we have to first iterate a for loop which will read every character from left to right, and when we will find a 1, any digit in it, we will split that name. Okay, so we will use first for I in text because our text in this text variable, and this will read single values from left to right, and after that we will check this I. Every character we will check if it is a digit or not. We can use this by if I dot is digit. This will check if our I has any digit or not. If it has a digit, it will get inside this code, and after getting inside, what we will do, we can just split the text. So we can just text dot split, and from which we can split from the I, because if it is 1, 5, 9, whatever the number is, it is still in I. So we can split it by I, and after splitting we can just return this value. Actually after splitting it, it will return us a list. So we can just write a 0 to it. Okay, let me first show you if it's working or not. So we can just call clean and give this name 1L. Okay, so we are giving this name to this clean function, and it is returning us a list of 2. first the name, and it has split from this one, and it is returning us only the L. If we would have given another name like this one, we would have get, because the 5 was the very first character from left to right, so it has split from the 5, and we get this name. Okay, and the packaging, so we have interest only in the name, so we can just modify this and access only the first element, which is our 0th index. Okay, so after that we are getting this, but as this is a text, we are getting an extra space at the end. We don't need this extra space, so how we can remove this extra space in it? We can use dot strip. So after using dot strip will remove the extra space from this. So the extra space has been removed. So our function has been made like a clean function, which will access only the product name from this. So we can use this. Okay, so we will just call the df and use a product name and dot apply. Apply will apply this function to every value. So we will apply clean in every, and we can see this, our column has been removed, the numbers has been removed, and only the names are left. And we will save this to, like, we will give an only product. Okay, yeah, for only product. Okay, so we have changed, and if we see by using df.head, we will get a product name which will only has product in it. Now we can complete this question. Find top 5 product based on total sales and total quantity. Now we have to create a groups of these product and calculate total sales and total quantity for each product. To do this, we will use group by method. So we will apply df dot group by on which product, which column. So this will be product, and we have to select quantity and sales. There are 2 columns, so we will use a list. So sales and the quantity. After writing this, we will give it an aggregate function, which will be our, if we have to find the total, so we will use dot sum. Okay, so we get this. Now we get a data frame in which every product and total sales and total quantity of it. We don't need the product to be an index column, so we will reset index. Reset index. After that, the product has been reset. Now we don't need this, actually we need the top 5 top selling product, and the sales is not in any proper order. So we have to arrange this data in a sales descending order. So to do this, we will apply at the end sort values function. Sort values, and sort values by which column? We want to sort them by sales, so we have to specify by an argument called by, and it will be sales. Now by default, sort values will sort the data in ascending order. We don't need it in ascending order, and let me show you. Now if we sort this, it will sorted it in ascending order. If we want this to be sorted in descending order, we have to pass an extra argument in this sort value function. So we will pass ascending equals false. This will indicate that we wanted to sort this in descending order, and after running this, we will see that our data has been sorted in a descending order, and we only want top 5 product, and to get the top 5 rows from this data frame, we will use dot head method, and by default it will get us 5 rows, so it will be correct. So this is our solution, top 5 product on the basis of sales and quantity. Okay, so moving to the next question, channel wise performance. Okay, group the data by channel and calculate total sales and average quantity. We need to make a group of channels and we have to total the sales and average the quantity. Okay, so in this we don't have to total both of them, we have to find the average of quantity. How we can do this? To do this, we will first create a group by channels. So first df dot group by on the basis of channel. Okay, on the basis of this column, so we will just copy paste it. And now we are aggregating both column with different aggregation method. We have to sum the sales column and we have to find the mean of quantity column. To do this, we will use .agg function, .aggregate function. This is a pretty handy function for these kind of tasks. And to do this, we will first pass a dictionary. In that dictionary, the key will be the column name and the value will be the aggregation type. And for this, we will use our sales as a key. And for a value, we will use sum because we want to sum the sales column. And another pair will be for the quantity column. So the key will be the quantity and its value will be the aggregation type, which will be mean. And after passing this, if we run this, we will get this output in which our channels, the sales will be total and the quantity will be average. So we don't actually need so many numbers in these decimal places, so we can just round this, and to round this we can just pass dot round. Okay, after passing this, we can see that number has been round, and now we don't need them to be an index column, so we can just reset index. So this is our solution with channel wise total sales and average quantity. Okay, so moving to the next question. Sub-channel analysis. We have to analyze sub-channel. Show total sales and number of product sold under each sub-channel. We have to calculate the total sales and the total number of product sold. And to do this, we will use the same method which we used above. So we will first create a group. So we will use a dot group by method on sub channel. So this is our sub channel. And we will use dot aggregate function. Okay, so we need to total the sales. So we will pass a dictionary in which the key will be the sales and its value will be sum. And there will be another that will be for count. We have to count the products. So we will give it product and the aggregation method will be count because we actually want to count the number of products. Okay, so after running this, we will get the total sales and the number of products which were sold. These are the count of rows. Okay, so we have done this and we can just reset the index to get a proper table. So we can just use dot reset index to get a nice table. Okay, so these are the sub channel, these are total sales and these are the product count. Now moving to another question, we will use this question, average quantity sold per category. Okay, so in this question, what is the question? For each product, calculate the average quantity sold across all month. Okay, so we don't actually have to calculate the average quantity. for product, but we actually wanted to calculate the average quantity for all the products and for all the month. In this there are two information, the product and the month. So to calculate this, we will not use that simple group by function, because if we use it, we will get a column. So let me show you two methods to do this type of question. So first is our simple group by. So we can use group by. We can use group by on multiple columns also. So we can, to use that multiple columns, we will pass a list, and for first it will be our product, and then it will be month name. Okay, so we have passed two columns. We will pass the column which we want to aggregate, then that is sales, and we will use dot sum. So we will get a result something like this. Okay, we can use just dot reset index if it works. Okay, so we get this, but we get this in a form of a table in a long format, like this product for the sales month of January and its sales, this the same product for month of February and its sales. So this is the first uh, method by using which we can solve this question, and there is another method which is a pretty good method for these type of question. So we will use a pivot table, and to use that we will use these are the same pivot table which we use in Excel. So it will be df dot pivot table. To create a pivot table, you need three information. First, the column which will be in the our index position, which will be in our rows, another column which will be act as a multiple column, and the value inside that. So for that we will pass the index. We want product name as our rows, so we will pass product in it. For the columns we need month. Okay, so every month has a different column, so columns will have month name. Okay, and the last one is the values. We actually want the sales in it, so we will pass values as sales. Okay, calculate the average quantity sold. Okay, there was a one mistake, it was quantity sold across all month, so it will not be sales but quantity. Okay, so here's also it will be quantity. If we write this, we will get something like this. We get a table in which products will be in our rows, and the columns will be our months, and the intersection of them will be our quantity. So we don't need this decimal places, so we can use dot round in it. Okay, so this has solved this, and we don't need them to be in index, so we can just reset the index. Okay, so we have reset the index and we have removed the decimal places. So this is our answer, that particular this product, the sales of December, February, January and March. Okay, so we have solved this question using two different methods. So moving to the next question. The next question is price per unit estimation. We need to estimate price per unit. We have to create a new column for price per unit, and that column need to be calculated using sales divided by quantity. So this is very simple, we can directly do this. Okay, get hang. Okay, so we can just get this sales divided by quantity, and when we execute this we will get our price per unit column. and we can save this data into price per unit. If you don't need this decimal places, you can just round this. We can just put this in a bracket and we can use dot round, so it has rounded those numbers. And now we can save this in a column called price per unit and equal. Okay, so we have saved this column. We can check this. We will get a price per unit column here. Okay, so we have calculated this also. Moving to the next question, category wise sales summary. We need to calculate category wise sales summary, and to calculate it, calculate the total and average sales for each category. Okay, so in this we have to calculate the total sales and also the average sales for each category. So for this type of question, we will create a group on this category and we will use the sales column to calculate the total and the average. Okay, so to do this, we will use df.groupby. The column will be our category. The column will be our sales. And now this time, although we can just pass dot sum, but it will only give us the sum. And if we pass the average, we can pass the mean, but it will only return us the average or the sum at a same time, at a single time. So we can just use dot aggregate function here. This time we will pass a list in it, and the list will be consist of a sum and a mean. And by using this, we will get a total of the sales and we will get the mean of the sales. So we can do the question like this, and if you don't need this, you can just pass reset index. Okay, so this is our done. Actually we don't need this, so we can just pass dot round. Okay, so this works best. Now the next question, most consistent product. We need to find the product which is the most consistent, which is consistently sold across the time. So identify the product with the least variation in monthly sales using standard deviation. So we have to use standard deviation to find out the product which has the least fluctuation. That means in all of the month it sold the same. Okay, so to do that we will use dot group by, and we will create the group on the basis of product. So we will use dot group by and we will use the product. And after that we need to calculate the standard deviation on the sales column. So we will take the sales column and calculate STD in it, and we get this. Actually we want them in a proper number, so we can just round this. Okay, and we need a proper table, so we can just reset index. Okay, there is a mistake. Okay, so this is our table in which every product and its variation in standard deviation is written. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to arrange this data in ascending order so that the product with the least variation will be on the top. To do this, we will use the sort by method. So to use that sort values, and by which column we need to sort them on by the values sales column. So we will pass the sales. By default the sort values work on ascending order, which is the same which we want. So we will run it and we will get the product with the least variation on the top. And if to get the top first row, we can just use dot head method and pass 1 in it. So this is how we can get the top product which has the least variation. So here the project has been completed. So thanks for watching and follow for more projects like this.